Did you know there's roughly one OSHA inspector for every 70,000 workers?
Oh,
Which means most workplaces you walk into haven't seen a safety inspection in years, or perhaps they haven't been inspected at all. In this episode, we're breaking down how companies cut corners, why most violations go unreported, and what happens when someone finally gets hurt. I'm Charlie. He's Colin. This is the Unemployable Life podcast. Welcome back. That was a weird intro.
just Homer Simpson into a shrub behind you. Just
Yeah, what's funny actually is the wallpaper that's going on here is colorful leaves. So it's kind of my shrub.
If I can figure out how to do the Homer Simpson intro, that's what I'll do from now on. Just materializing from a background.
Yeah, I might just have to get one of those like a bead curtain and just put some bush on the front.
Ah, does work.
Walk through the bush.
Right.
I was knee deep in muff. So if we
that didn't take long.
If we start with a brief history of OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, we see that OSHA evolved from the Bureau of Labor Standards, which was established in 1934 within the U.S. Department of Labor. It was formally created by the Occupational Safety and Health Act, signed into law by President Nixon, on December 29th, 1970, and went into effect on April 28th, 1971. This launched OSHA as a federal agency. This was the culmination of decades of worker fatality and dismemberment, long hours, brutal conditions, and that led unions to lobby the government to regulate unsafe workplaces. Work for the human labor. Anybody behind me, my son.
That's the one I know too.
I was gonna say Boy Meets World up and down.
Yep.
You're 35, that hit a bone for you.
Yep.
So right away, I'm noticing something that I really want to complain about, and that's fucking lobbying, dude. They were lobbying for centuries, honestly, politics. But it took unions paying senators for anything to be done. They don't care about you or the work you do. They only care about the dollars they can get out of you.
Yeah. And that's a common theme that we run into. I have a very dear friend, and he's on the conservative side, and kind of drank the Kool-Aid when it came to claims that our current administration was going to be great for jobs. Great for business, actually. And technically that is correct, but he was shocked when he realized that, like, he's not going to benefit from it. He's not one of the business owners. There's kind of a different world for these people, and there's a reason we have OSHA. There's a reason we have laws that protect unions, because if we take them away, they'll go right back to being like, oh, it's a shame little Timmy lost 3 fingers in the factory machine today. That's better than yesterday. He lost 4 then. He can only lose so many more.
He's only got 2 left.
Statistically speaking, the injuries are getting worse, and we're doing a good job.
We're going to get into something a little later that is going to really just bring all of that back into modern day.
Oh, God. Yeah, that tracks.
So the legal basis of OSHA comes from the Occupational Safety and Health Act grants OSHA the authority to set and enforce workplace health and safety standards, oversee employer compliance, and issue regulations under Section 5A1, the General Duty Clause. If you ever take an OSHA class, they don't teach you any of that.
No. No, actually, no schooling ever taught me that. The only thing I was taught about OSHA when doing hospitality management training in a trade school, mind you, was you want to do the OSHA stuff so that OSHA never inspects you, because if they catch on to something, it's just going to be annoying. It was very much so framed
they come
as
back.
Like, yeah, they're the bad guys. Like, they're going to come in and make your lives miserable.
And here's the thing. They come back even though there's only one for every 70,000 workers, one agent for every 70,000 workers. So yeah. They come back because they know you fucked up. Yep. They know that they have something on you, and they know that there is a likelihood they can get something out of you, money,
Yeah.
or improve the workplace for one of the 70,000 workers they're there to protect. I was going to say save, that's
Yeah.
heavy, but they're there to aid. And when you introduce unsafe work practices, you're kind of asking for it. Like you said, the best thing you could do is just be on top of your game.
Yeah.
Just be good at being good.
Yep.
Understand your OSHA regulations in your specific industry, whatever they are.
I'm always going to come back to this. I still have this theory that so much of what we're seeing right now is because leadership is not creative enough to drive new revenue. So they're just trying to figure out ways to cut corners and simulate creating revenue. And this is one of those things. If they're cutting safety corners in order to increase the amount of products you produce per minute, that's not doing it right. That's not doing it well. That's cheating the system. And if somebody gets hurt, I mean, we've already been over this. Like, businesses aren't exactly held to the same standard that individual humans are for hurting each other.
No, but it does cost them a hell of a lot of money.
Yep. That's their threat.
It'll be tens of thousands of dollars if someone is hurt on your property or at your facility.
Yeah.
And you are found liable. It is found to be from neglect, ignorance. If you don't know the law, you're still expected to abide. Or Jesus Christ, if you don't know the law, you're still expected to obey it.
Yeah,
it's weird, but also a lot of OSHA things are kind of common sense, like kickboards on staircases, hand railings, and proper training on how to walk upstairs and how to mop appropriately, especially in a food factory setting. Like, proper cleanup of glass. Like, you have to have you have to have broom training. There's an entire glass cleaning kit. Jesus, this fucking stuff is
kicks, huh? I'm jealous.
I'm just like tripping on my words right now. But they train you right down in a good place anyway. They train you right down to the punctuation, because if they don't, OSHA's going to fine them $750 for a pallet standing on end. $750 per pallet standing on end.
Oh yeah, one of the most common ones we run into in hospitality land would be managers who didn't understand the compliances, like why certain rooms couldn't be overstocked. It's a fire hazard, and it's also like a collapsing hazard. But it would be a routine thing where, like, I hate to admit it, but I've been in businesses where, the front, we call them the bellhops or the bellmen, whichever, they would basically ping me and be like, hey, this guy looks like an OSHA representative. Because we had been busted multiple times for having overstocked rooms.
So they're coming and going right to that closet.
Absolutely. And I would always have that closet spick and span, but there was a hidden one that held all the shit because we didn't have enough room. But instead of actually dealing with it as a business, the owners wouldn't approve the budget spend. So we just kept shuffling it and playing avoid the inspector games. It was...
Do you think it was because the owners were incompetent, or were they like overwhelmed, or were they just greedy and trying to avoid all wrongdoing?
They weren't even really involved. They were like 30,000 foot managers. Like, they owned the property. They had one guy who ran several of the hotels. And then I was one of his minions that was on the hotel floor. So basically he could have a 5-day weekend like everyone else in their weekends, was how it worked out. It was mainly him just wanting if he saved enough money, if he came in under target on his budgets, he would get a bonus in that amount. So it was directly beneficial for him to cut those corners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Motherfuckers die for profits.
Yes.
All the time. There was Thomas Cooper. We covered. I didn't even upload the episode because I was in a whole fucking tiff. But Thomas Cooper, little boy that died in Michigan because the hyperbaric chamber exploded.
Yep.
Because the CEO of the company didn't do any of the required checks or audits or anything like that at her facility for something like 7 or 10 years. And she just went, don't need to do that. And then a 5-year-old boy explodes in a ball of flames because of her negligence, because she wanted to save a little bit of money in the short term. And this is kind of where they get you. You save some money in the short term, but you will get caught.
Well, so,
you will get caught.
Yeah.
And there are only 1,719 compliance officers nationwide, so you actually probably won't get caught. If you enjoyed that video, you think we've earned it, drop us a like and consider subscribing. check out our merch store. It's on our website at unemployablelife.com. We have more merch coming. We're super excited about it. We'll see you in the next one.